Welcome back to the NASCAR Winston Cup Series here on JRTV. After a week's break, we are back with coverage here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway for the UAW-GM Quality 500, the fifth to last race of the Winston Cup Series season. The points battle oh so close, just 2 points separate first and second, with other drivers waiting in the wings to pounce if those front two have issues here tonight at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. And a man that knows about getting around this racetrack, Trey Bardo. Trey, you won your last ever race here back in 2000. You've won a lot of races here in the past. You have kind of a history and a little bit of a connection with this racetrack. What does it take to be so good at a track that's so narrow and so bumpy like Lowe's?
Avoid the mayhem. Stay out front. Those are the two easiest things to do.
Yeah, the past few seasons, especially 2001, we saw some pretty intense action here at Lowe's. Think about the World 600 in 2001 where we had multiple caution flags, and then the race later that season only had 2 caution flags, but they were both pretty big accidents. And we had Trey last season in this race, an upset winner. Roberto Crown Jr. played the perfect pit strategy in that number 43 car and won the race. So Trey, is it possible that something like that could happen again tonight, where maybe someone steals a win on some fluke caution that comes out, and they play the perfect strategy to go with it?
I mean, definitely. It really depends on how the cautions lay out. Earlier this season, we only had one caution, right? And it wasn't even for a wreck. So we'll have to see if these guys decide to keep it clean, or if they are getting antsy because it's coming down to the end of the season. And like you said, these points are pretty close to each other. So we'll have to see if people try to get aggressive here, and it ends up, might be taking out a few other guys with them.
Well, 2 drivers that are hoping this race stays clean and green are the 2 Joe Gibbs Racing drivers. Mathis Wells in number 20 starts in 12th here tonight, and Chris Jericho, the 18, his teammate, starts a little bit further back in the 16th position. The reason they're hoping that this stays calm, well, they're both on the outside lane to start, so we know they're probably going to lose some positions. They're going to have to try to find a way down in line. If they can't find a way down in line, they'll be right in the middle of the pack, probably around 22nd place or so. That is right in the place where the accidents could happen. You get involved in an accident, especially if you're still up top. You could be the one up top 3 wide into the wall off of turn number 4 or something like that. They're also first and second in the points. Mathis Wells only has a 2-point gap over his teammate Chris Jericho, but Trey, with them both starting on the outside lane, if they fall back, the 3 drivers right behind them in points about a race back. Sebastian Kukulon starts in 2nd, Matthew Burnett starts back in 11th, and then Jordan Stout starts up in 4th place. So Trey, if those 2 Joe Gibbs cars fall back, those 3 are all starting up well inside or up inside the top 5. They could try and pounce and gain those points to get within a race once again.
Yeah, I mean, really anything could happen here, Joe. It's this is going to be one of those tracks that really can make or break your chase for this cup.
Yeah, and DEI trying to get themselves into this battle. They're not in the battle for the championship at the moment, but the 3 cars all performed really well in qualifying. Lathan Strickland got pole. Remember, earlier this season, he didn't get to race in the World 600. He was out because of injury from Texas. So it's his first race here at Lowe's this season. He put that car on pole. Just a few rows behind him, his teammate Eli Bright starts inside the top 5. Probably the first speed he's shown out that number 8 car since his 3rd place run here at Lowe's earlier this season. And then Anthony Nez in number 1 a little bit further back in 15th. They're all in the inside lane. They're all inside the top 15 to start, Trey, and they all look pretty fast here this weekend at Lowe's. Could possibly DEI get back to form where they were earlier in the season, trying to get another car back in victory lane.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, they definitely came out like a rocket with, all 3 of their guys got wins? Yep. Am I mistaken? I can't remember that far back.
All 3 got wins, and lately it's not been anything close to that.
Yeah, I don't think majority of them finished inside the top 15. But yeah, with how they're looking right now, I mean, they're all on the inside, like you said. So they definitely could be looking to get something good here today, at least as long as they can stay up front.
And watch for another team that was strong earlier this season, has kind of fallen off, are the RCR guys. They're all starting very well inside the top 10. Atkins still looking for that first ever victory, and we know that those RCR cars can get around this track in a sporty manner. So we'll have to see if those 3 can try and break that curse of an RCR car not winning after the first 6 races of this 2002 season. So we'll go take a look at the Ford Fast Facts here for the UAW-GM Quality 500. Beautiful night for racing, mostly clear skies here tonight, 73 degrees, so a nice cool night for the fans and the drivers, and 1 mile-an-hour wind in the northwest direction. Just a small chance of rain here tonight at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. And the race will be 67 laps, which is just over 100 miles, and the fuel window, very interesting to think about that, 28 to 33 laps. They'll have to make 2 pit stops, but the question is, if it stays green all the way through, that last pit stop will probably come within the last 10 to 5 laps, so watch for how that might play out once we get to the end of the race. And now this track length is 1.5 miles, 24 degrees of banking in the turns, and 5 degrees on the straightaways. The track was built in 1960, held its first Winston Cup Series race in 1981, and think about this as we go into the race. 3 previous drivers have swept the races at Lowe's in a single season. Grayson Acevedo did it in 1988. The very next season, Adam Lewis did it in 1989, and then Nat Wagner did it in 1999. Trey, you were so close in 2000 doing it. You missed out by a few 1,000ths of a second in the World 600 to Brett Sierra. Then you won the second race. Jordan Stout won the World 600 earlier this season, has a good car here tonight. He's starting in 4th place. We'll see if he can try and sweep the Lowe's races here in the 2002 season. About time to get going, though, as we go down trackside to get the command to fire the engines up for the next NASCAR Winston Cup Series race for the 2002 season.
Drivers, start your engines!
42 cars fired up and rolling for the UAW-GM Quality 500 here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Let's talk about the man starting in 3rd place, Keyshawn Richardson. He has the most wins this season at 5 victories so far. However, Trey, a dismal stretch of races has dropped him to 10th in the points, nearly out of the championship battle. Can Keyshawn try and rebound, get his 6th win of the season, try and get back up into that championship fight? It's very odd for someone to have so many wins but not be up there in the points.
Yeah, but I mean, just some things don't work in your favor, and this is one of those cases. But Joe, he's definitely starting in a spot where he wants. He was on the inside line. We'll have to see if he can get the start that his team's hoping for and get himself up front here and lead some laps.
Then a few rows behind him, another driver that's had dismal stretch of races has dropped at points, nearly out of championship contention. Conrad Evans. Trey, RCR as an organization won 4 of the first 6 races, but has not won since then. What will it take for this team to try and get back to victory lane for the 5th time in 2002?
I don't know. I don't remember seeing the team start off so well and then just falling off like these guys did. I mean, it's not like they've been bad. They just have not put the pieces together to get a win going here. So we'll have to see if one of these 3 inside the top 10 will get it done tonight. As
you mentioned, all 3 starting inside the top 10, so they have a good shot at it. But at the front, DI's Lathan Strickland on pole for this Lowe's race as the championship battles so close. 2 points separate Mathis Wells and Chris Jericho in the middle of the pack. Green flag for Lowe's. Pretty orderly start down the back in turns 3 and 4. Collins looked 3 wide on Zidell, thought better of it. Kukla off the track, Stout looking low, but can't get there. Richardson to the inside, Strickland, but the 15 leads the first lap here at Lowe's. Richardson second. Here comes Strickland's teammate Eli Bright. We have Keegan Thompson. He was going low. I don't know if he's trying to make a move or if he got turned there, but the 5 was down low, really low off of turn number 4, but luckily corralled that car in, and he's still going straight in that number 5.
Yeah, honestly, Joe, it could have been anything, especially with these guys all bunched up just on a start like we did. I mean, we know these guys, Joe. They take no time whatsoever to get 3 wide.
Yeah, and they're a little bit 3 wide further back as they've now sorted it out. Now Kukelan's trying to go to the middle. As Evans moved up to second by Eli Bright. Now Atkins, Evans' teammate, is looking low down to turn 1. Here comes Matthew Burnett, number 17, being very aggressive. And here comes Conrad Evans trying to get every point he can tonight, going for the lead on lap number 3 as they race off 2 and down the back straightaway, side by side, with Evans trying to take it from Strickland in turns 3 and 4.
Yep, you're in Evans' position, Joe. How aggressive are you during this race?
You have to be very aggressive, right? We know Evans, he's no stranger to being aggressive in these races, so he's trying to get every point he can. Trey's trying to get another victory in the season and trying to get himself back into that championship fight, and he needs to be aggressive because here comes Wells. He's found a way down in line, Trey, from the outside lane. He's moving forward. Meanwhile, second in points, and his teammate Jericho has fallen way back outside of the top 30.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, drivers already here starting in that outside lane. But, I mean, our points there is a reason he's leading the championship, and that's because he knows how to drive these type of tracks, and he got himself down real quick, and now he's making his way towards the front.
Yeah, you look at both Joe Gibbs Racing drivers, they've both had very good success here at Lowe's in the past. Jericho's really always run well here. He's always had fast cars. If he's had a bad finish, it's likely because he's got caught up in accidents. He's been running top 10 on speed pretty much every time we've come here. Mathis Wells won the World 600 last season, so both those Joe Gibbs cars, they know how to get it done, but we know that the Roush cars have been faster, the RCR cars have been faster, so it's really, this is one of the tracks where those heavyweights can really throw down. As here comes Anthony Hernandez going for the lead on lap number 5, now completion of 5 to 6. Hernandez trying to take it through turn 22, started in 15th, Trey. It took him 5 laps to get up to the lead.
And he's going to take the lead with a pretty decent gap right now. And this guy we haven't talked about very much.
Yeah, you know why we haven't talked about him, Trey? He is the only driver that has started every race this season that has yet to lead a lap.
Really?
Can you believe that? Zachary Fitzgerald Sr. has not led a single lap this season.
No, that's a very interesting fact.
Yeah, and he's trying to get one here tonight. He wants to. He's not going to go the whole season without leading a lap, is he? Well, we'll have to see if he can try and take it from Hernandez here down the back. He has a nice run onto him, right up onto his back fork. We'll see if he can try and pass that number 1, get that first lap led of the season. And what is this, race number 28?
I don't think he's too happy about that stat.
No, I wouldn't be either. Especially driving for Penske. That is a.
He's not going to lead it this time if Evans has anything to say about it.
Conrad Evans shoving for 2nd place. Justin Zeidel's gotten in line. He's in 4th place right now. Keyshawn Richardson back up to 5th. Nolan Lawrence coming up nicely in that number 19 to 6th. And how about Riley Spurgeon, Trey? We've talked about all these major teams up into that championship battle. We talked about the 2 Gibbs drivers, the 4 Roush drivers, the 3 Richard Childress Racing drivers. We have not talked about Riley Spurgeon for Robert Yates Racing, and after Talladega, he moved into 6th in the points. He has a realistic shot at this, and where he's running right now, he's getting points on the front too.
It's that would be some sort of an underdog story, Joe, wouldn't it? I mean, this man who really, I mean, we've talked about him here and there sporadically, but nothing really consistent. And Joe, now he's in the hunt for this championship as our points leader. Joe is stuck on the outside and losing quite a bit of spots.
Those Robert Yates cars, Trey, they have had such a kind of underrated season, and Luke Rennie has really kind of shown the speed they have. Wow, I cannot believe that they sorted it out without wrecking. That was 3 guys rubbing off each other. Somehow they made it stick, and Luke Rennie's going to get 2 spots, and Stout's still not out of it. 3 wide with Bright in the middle. Now his teammate Burnett all the way to the bottom. Hunter Reed is there, and Mathis Wells is a few rows behind this, wondering how in the world they're going to sort this out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Joe, look who's right behind that little close accident right there. It's our points leader, but I mean, these guys right here are battling as hard as a mid-pack.
Yeah, this is crazy stuff so far at Lowe. So far, it's been clean for 10 laps, but I don't know how long they can last clean with how they're racing as Evans moves back out in front. Keyshawn Richardson down to 10th in the points, looking for his 6th victory of the season. There's Fitzwater, his teammate Mitchell Collins coming behind him, so the Penske Hot Rods, they look like hot rods here tonight with Fitzwater 3rd, Collins going for 4th. Richardson trying to get 5 bonus points for leading here this lap. Moves low, and Evans bringing Fitzwater to the inside with them. And can Fitzwater maybe steal it off 4? He's looking low in the 99, down to the inside of the quad oval, but Richardson stays out front. He'll lead the 11th lap.
Richardson's really trying to do whatever he can do here to get himself back into this points battle. Like you said, he has so many wins, but he's not leading the championship, Joe. That's such a weird sentence to say. But, Joe, he's got help from a teammate on this bottom here. Fitzwater does. Is he going to be able to do it finally?
Yeah, Zachary Fitzwater Sr. through turns 3 and 4. 0 laps led up to this point, but as he comes off 4, he'll lead lap number 12. The first lap led of the season for Zachary Fitzwater Sr. That number 2 team gets a little bit of that monkey off his back, right?
Think he feels any better, or you think he's kind of angry it took him this long?
I'd be angry it took this long, but I'd be happy to see a teammate right behind me in 1st and 2nd. I mean, those Penske cars look pretty good so far.
Yeah, they're definitely kind of, actually, Joe, they're really pulling away from everyone else.
They are gapping.
I don't think we've had the biggest lead this yet. I mean, so far this race.
Yeah, they are gapping, but if they get side by side, so Collins got to run on Fitzwater, said, I'm a little bit faster. I'm going to take it to the inside. That's going to help DeLello and Hunter and all of them catch right back up as they race side by side. See already how slow they got, but DeLello kind of messed up through 1 and 2. Here comes Evan Hunter digging hard in the bottom lane, going for 3rd place. MB2 is really kind of stalled out as of late. DeLello blocks him down to the inside. But MB2 stalled as of late, but here's Evan Hunter trying to get that team back to prevalence as he's moving up inside the top 5. But now he gets shuffled out by Justin Zeidel, who's still searching for that first win in over 2 years.
Yeah, talk about a dry spell, Joe. This man right here, I mean, it's not like he hasn't been in position to win, right? He's been in many positions to win. He just can't seem to pull it together, and it's very strange. But We mentioned it throughout the season. HMS has slowly been coming to be going back to what we've known them to be. So we'll have to see if finally maybe that 24 can break something here. Or
Oh, no! Matt Tuck, Sebastian Kukulon, Hernandez, Cameron Evans. Where are the points leaders?
Big.
Oh,
big hit.
Oh my gosh.
Still wrecking. They're still wrecking.
Oh!
No!
Justin Atkins, Sebastian Kukulon, Lathan Strickland, the pole sitter, Riley Spurley-Tube, Keegan Thompson is back there. He failed inspection. Eli Bright. That's all three of the DI guys.
That's such a terrible wreck for DEI as a whole, but I think the 20 made it through.
20 and the 18 just shot down to the inside, full speed. And Wells was, I think, inches from being the one to clobber that 25. Instead, it was a car just a few rows behind him that got the 25.
Wow, that was a... we saw that happen live, and, I mean, it was just bad. But, Joe, pit stop time. What do you got to do?
Yeah, so they've gone 15 laps. You have to expect 4 tires here, but this puts them in a nice window to where they can just do this stop, then do another one, and they'll be good from there. So, kind of... makes the strategy.
All 3 RCR guys on pit road too?
All 3 RCR cars, all 3 DI cars. Not a good wreck for a lot of teams right there. That was...
I think it got 3 out of the 4 Hendrick guys too.
Yeah, we saw Rando in the grass. We saw Tuck obviously with all that damage. Keegan Thompson. So
had damage as well.
Man.
This is a team killer type of race, Joe. I mean, holy cow.
It is. I've not seen a wreck involve so many cars yet. It's just like 2 or 3 organizations. You can see, I think both the Jasper cars were involved in this too, the 67 and the 77.
I can't wait to see the statistics after this race of what teams got taken out by this one wreck. I mean, Joe, that was almost a 20-car pileup.
Yeah, it's very close to that. And you can see Lathan Strickland leaving there in number 15. They've repaired it as best they can, but... my goodness, what a wreck here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. It's going to change the championship battle once again as the front 2 in the championship slipped around the inside. Meanwhile, drivers like Burnett and the 3 Richard Childress Racing drivers all involved in this major accident just after lap 15 here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. So here it is, racing through turns 3 and 4. Luke Rennie trying to make a 3-wide move on Sebastian Kukulon and Matt Tuck, which had worked for most of the night, but Kukulon gets tight with the 88 underneath him, shoves up into Tuck, who's about as high as he can go. On from there, hard to the concrete. Hernandez gets tipped. There's Riley Spurley-Tube. He'll go to the grass, but Trey, watch this green number 18 coming in. Chris Jericho drives through the grass, narrowly misses a few cars, but gets through unscathed. And the few rows back is going to be his teammate Mathis Wells. There's third in points, Matthew Burnett. There's Wells getting through. Atkins misses the first barrage of this, but right here, Kukulon clobbered.
Oh my lord!
And again.
Oh, the hits.
Max Davis got clobbered by Jacob Miller. See Evans still getting hit. Look at Nathan Stapleton. He had been the topic of so many controversies with getting involved in stuff under the caution flag. Well, here as the wreck is happening all around him, that Chip Ganassi Racing number 71 drove through the middle of it and missed every single car that was in front of him.
Are we sure it's still Stapleton in that car?
It is. It is. He's back after that hit that he took, and wow.
Wow, this is... I don't think... I'm at a loss for words, Joe.
Yeah, I am too. We saw 300 cars involved, both the Jasper cars, 3 of the RCR cars, 3 of the DEI cars. I mean, this record.
How many of the Chip Ganassi cars were the 4's right there?
The 4's right there. The 71 was near it. The 40 was definitely in it, and the 41's not in the race. So you had 2 of the 3 Chip Ganassi cars involved in this one.
This took out everyone he possibly could have.
Yeah, it's insane that it didn't take even more out. So many cars had to take to the grass or just get lucky through it. I mean, we saw Jericho fly through the grass. We saw Stout nearly miss it, Roberto Crown Jr., Edwards, and Wells, and the list goes on and on. So
who's not involved is probably the easier way to put this.
Yeah, we could say there's probably about 15 cars that missed that crash. We'll go take a look at this wreck from a few more angles just to show everything that occurred in this massive accident here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Another view of the accident off 4. The few hard hits there, and Matt Tuck had driven through it, but Riley from the grass comes up. You can see all of the cars just kind of collect on the outside, and all of these hard hits.
Joe, I mean, there's nowhere to go. The track is literally blocked. You can see the 30 over there getting pretty much tackled.
Yeah.
It goes right over. I mean, where are you going to go with this? By the time that half of these guys got to wreck, there were so many cars in the grass and on track, you had nowhere to go.
Yeah, your best bet was to try and stop, and even then, cars coming behind you were not stopping. So it was the worst case scenario for one of these crashes. We'll go take a look at this wreck one more time from one of the stationary cameras we have on pit road, just to show what Trey was mentioning, how basically everything got blocked by the time the crash had started. And here's the final view as they race off 4. See, there's the start of the crash. Cars collecting in, nowhere to go. And there is where it evolves. Look at that, 29. Oh my goodness.
That's crazy. I mean, these cars were so spread out by the time this happened that if they were probably all bunched together, sorry, I got the hiccups right now for some reason, but if they were all bunched together, it probably wouldn't have been that bad.
No, and it was just like there were phases to that crash. It was like phase 1 the start, phase 2 some cars pile in, phase 3 some more pile in. It was a wreck that never wanted to end, and thankfully it did finally end. And for the leaders, thankfully by the time they got around, most of the cars were clear of the track. They could get through, and they had to come down pit road. Mitchell Collins led in, and he leads off. Penske Racing having a good day so far here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway with Collins in the race lead. The first restart of this race will take place on lap number 20. Mitchell Collins has done a lot of leading so far. He's out front for Penske Racing here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. A bunch of cars to the garage and done for the night after that crash. Jack Carter, the last of them, 42nd. Then you have Jack Haas, Noah Clifton, Jacob Miller, Max Davis in the 67. Matthew Burnett came in 3rd in the points, not what he was needing in terms of the championship. Tim Gary, Riley Spurtu came in 6th in points. Matt Tuck, Sebastian Kukulon, Conrad Evans, and Justin Atkins. That might just take all 3 RCR cars out of the championship fight. Bibi Ruiz and then Anthony Hernandez. We have 28 cars still running, probably more than we needed because that almost tells me we're going to run into a lot of lap traffic if this race stays under the green flag. Mitchell Collins leads in the 12. DeLello is the one in 2nd. Then Fitzwater 3rd. Zeidel 4th. 5th place to Evan Hunter. The 2 Evernham cars running well. Laura Chung in 6th. Lawrence is 7th. Jericho 2nd in the points up to 8th. Richardson down 9th. And Stout in 10th. The points leader Wells back in 13th. He's moved up. We'll see if he can try and move up some more. Green flag. A great jump for Mitchell Collins. Great jump for Fitzwater. Not so great for DeLello in 2nd. He spins the tires. And here comes Fitzwater all from down to the inside for a 2nd place. Down into turns 1 and 2 on the bottom lane.
You know this man's going to be very aggressive. Joe, how do you get rid of hiccups? But anyways, you know this man's going to be aggressive, but is that 24 going to look for a 3-wide move per second?
Oh, he is. And just after we saw 3 wide cause an accident, Zeidel forces down to the inside, trying to make it work. Luckily, Fitzwater got clear of DeLello, and now he has a sight set on his teammate, Mitchell Collins. Laura Chung moving up nicely. The 9 pushing the 24 down into turns 1 and 2. Trade for those hiccups. We'll have to get one of our people up here in the booth to maybe try and scare you to get rid of them.
No, because I need to get something here. I'm going to try my best to commentate, though. I don't know if you ever dealt with this, but so far, this 24, he's, we talked about him earlier, hasn't got a win in, what, you said 2 years?
Yeah,
he's definitely in a position to do it right now, though.
He is up to 3rd place. Here comes Fitzwater looking on teammate Mitchell Collins as they race through the quad oval. He's trying to take it from that number 12. Here comes Laura Chung, the number 9. Here comes DeLello on teammate Keyshawn Richardson. And how about sneaking inside the top 10 as Fitzwater takes the lead? The 43 Roberto Crown Jr. won this race last season on pit strategy, but Trey, he could very likely win the race this season on pure speed because he's up inside the top 10 racing well among these big teams.
Yo, I've said it every time we've talked about it. It's still one of my favorite wins.
Yeah,
I mean, it was amazing. Uh-oh.
Oh, Stout.
I don't like that.
He hit with Zeidel, who hit with Collins, but they kept it going straight. But they're still 3 wide going down into turns 1 and 2. DeLello looking low and Lord Chung. Collins almost cut Keyshawn Richardson off. 9 was in the middle lane. And there's the front two in the championship, nose to tail, moving low in the bottom. Chris Jericho in the 18, Mathis Wells in the 20 have moved up inside the top 10 for the first time tonight. Jericho leading Wells through the field, and the front two in the championship trying to keep that gap they have over the rest of the competition.
Oh, they were almost 4 wide. Why? Did you see that?
I did. Trey, you need some water.
I don't know what's going on, Joe. I'm trying my best. I promise.
I think we need someone to get you some water, and you can hold your breath while drinking the water. And for that
I
helps.
I have it right here. I'm trying to do it, and it's not working.
Well, might need you to try harder there, as we have the Joe Gibbs cars cleared 5th and 6th with Jericho leading Wells at the moment as they run. Jericho would be the points leader. As back here, it's still a mess of cars. Roberto Carr Jr. up the track. Richardson still in the middle. Hunter down low. How about the run through the field for Nathan Baird? He was fastest in practice. He was 8th fastest in qualifying. I thought, wow, this 22 team, they've turned a great stone. But then he ended up failing inspection after qualifying. Went all the way back to 42nd. Missed that big crash. And Trey, here is Nathan Baird back up into the top 10, right where he was about to start.
Yeah, I mean, he might have gotten DQ'd, but it still seems like that car has the speed it needs to be up here inside this top 10. Is doing a great job so far. And Laura Chung's also holding her own up here.
Yeah, we talk about first-time winners in the Winston Cup Series, or drivers looking for wins after a while. Laura Chung's never won. She's looking for one here in that number 9 as she moves to the lead. We're looking 3 wide for second. Fitzwater went up the hill as, oh my goodness, look how slow the 4 and the 55 are. Jamie Stanworth Jr. and Roger Ray. As Laura Chung looks to get low on Stanworth. They're 3
Oh, they're
wide.
so close behind for second.
Jericho's going to get through in the bottom. Wells shoves into Stout into
Wells!
Fitzwater. Around goes Stout and Fitzwater. They're going to get hit maybe a few times. It looks like somehow only about 2 or 3 cars got involved in that.
I don't think that's going to make him a fan favorite.
Oh, boy.
That was, I don't know, Joe. I don't know how you saw that, but that looked pretty bad on Wells' part.
It looked like he just kind of didn't care if he
Shoved
moved
them
up
up?
the track or not. And, we'll have to get some angles of it before we do any more judgment. But,
Yeah, but anyways, Fitzwater's not in the lead anymore because he got some pretty hard damage on the back end of his car. Dang it!
it was, I think it was DeLello, the one that actually hit off the 6 and the 2 as they were driving through. There was someone that made some slight contact. It looks like from that damage, I don't think DeLello's been in the wall here tonight. As he's coming up pit road, that definitely happened from that. So DeLello will yield what was a top 10 spot to come down. Looks like Hunter Reed got some damage from that as well. So a lot taking place here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. The second caution flag with about 40 laps to go, and a few more drivers in that championship hunt like DeLello and Stout involved in this one.
Yeah, that was a. I won't say anything about it until we see replay, but that was a very questionable set of events that happened there pretty quickly.
Yes, it was. Fortunately for the 6 and the 2, they don't have that bad of damage, so they can try and repair this and get back there, out there and go as fast as they can. And I don't know, maybe if they get back to the 20, they might try something there. As Hunter Reed comes off pit road that 45. See, Roger Ray's pulled low. There might be an issue on that lap car, the number 55. He'll probably be coming down the pit lane. But Laura Chung currently leads here in the UAW-GM Quality 500. We'll go check out what happened. It's the second caution flag of the night. Mathis Wells maybe in some controversy after possibly causing this crash off turn number 4. Well, Trey, here it is. Leaders trying to deal with lap traffic. Roger Ray and Jamie Stanworth Jr. They're 3 wide. Mathis Wells on the bottom in the 20. Stout in the middle. Fitzwater as high as he can go in the number 2. And it looks like Wells just kind of comes up off that white line. Gets into Stout and Fitzwater. And right there, DeLello gets involved. He luckily keeps it going straight to avoid any more major contact. And then, only other contact after this, Fitzwater gets tapped by the 45 and the 36 at the same time. But otherwise, no one else really involved, Trey.
Yeah, that was questionable. I mean, you could clearly see the 20 come off the bottom there and get into the 6. I don't know if he was trying to use maybe the 4 as a pick, or he just kind of misjudged it. But being the points leader and the 6 being within this chase or this battle, it definitely doesn't shine a good light on you.
No, it does not. And it actually got DeLello as well, who's there trying to gain points to get up, and it's going to throw a whole wrench in some of the Roush Racing plans as a lot of their cars that were going for that championship hunt. Now really only Keyshawn Richardson is the one left without damage. We'll go take a look at this wreck one more time at full speed. One more view. There's the 3 wide. Wells on the bottom. Stout and Fitzwater get collected. There's DeLello with pretty heavy damage. And then Hunter and Hunter Reed collide right there with the number 2 of Fitzwater. Fortunately, it wasn't anything major. We thought that could have taken out 5, 6, 7 more cars. Instead, it looks like no one's going to be out from that incident. And everyone's going to continue on and try and get up to speed as best as they can. But this driver currently up to speed. Laura Chung has done a great job for Everyday Motorsports, leading the UAW-GM Quality 500. And she'll be the leader for our second restart of the night here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. The 2 championship contenders will be right behind her. When we come back to the green flag, it will be 30 laps down here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Laura Chung, the leader under the second caution flag. No cars are out from that crash. We still have 26 on the lead lap. Jamie Stammer Jr. will restart in the middle of the field in that number 4 car. We'll have to see how he goes on the restart. He was obviously very slow before that. He has the front 4 in front of him and the rest of the field behind him. So we have Laura Chung and then Chris Jericho, who comes in second in the points. Mathis Wells, who comes in as the points leader. And then Jay Brando, the one in 4th place. Then there's the gap with the lap car Stanworth to 5th place, Justin Zeidel. Then Richardson in 6th. How about Jordan Edwards up to 7th? 8th place to Nathan Baird. 9th to Roberto Crown Jr. and Luke Rainey in 10th. At the back of the field, a lot of these damaged cars still trying to go on. There's where the 97, the 6, and the 2 find themselves. We'll have to see if they can try and move their way through some of those damaged cars at the back of the field. The pace car is in. Here comes Laura Chung Delias back to the green flag. Can Jericho or Wells try and get those 5 bonus points for leading a lap? Might not be Wells this time. He spins the tires from 3rd place, allows the front 2 to get a nice gap. And here comes Randall. Look at the 4, so slow in the middle of the pack.
That's going to be a very difficult thing to get around there if you're starting back.
Oh, no!
Oh, it's going to cause another accident.
Oh!
Well, Joe, it's not the first time at this racetrack, where we've had lap car incidences.
And look at Jericho moved by Laura Chung. He's going to get those 5 bonus points under the caution flag. That's major.
Lap cars, lap cars, lap cars.
This might be the worst track when it comes to lap traffic. It's such a narrow racetrack, and you just get so slow. See, Lathan Strickland, he took one heck of a head-on impact into that concrete. Sarah Kirchner was involved in this one. Luke Rainey, who was having such a good night. And Sabet Oskin, who won at Talladega, he got involved. Roger Ray got some more damage from that as well. And Jamie Stammer Jr., maybe that decision to restart middle of the pack, you would think if you were the crew of that, you would have brought him in.
We saw the 55 come down pit road, and he started near the back.
Yeah, so... But right here, as we're coming to 35 to go, Trey, the fuel window, 28 to 33 laps. These guys are going to try and push it.
That's a unique set of circumstances. It makes you wonder if they plan on staying out till the end of this thing, or if they plan on more cautions to come.
I'd say they plan on more cautions to come because with how we've had 3 cautions in the first half of this race so far, I would not expect it to stay clean the rest of the way, and especially with the lap traffic running rampant here, you have to think that there's going to be some more issues that arise.
There's got to be some, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what these guys are looking at as Jericho gets the 4 tires down and away. A very quick stop for that Interstate Batteries team. Laura Chung just behind him. Jay Brando as well. And Chris Jericho leads them in. He'll lead them out as well. So the Joe Gibbs crew holds serve on pit road. Jericho, Chung, Rando the top 3. Then Richardson and Wells. Jordan Edwards with a good stop in that number 83. So the field comes off pit road with potentially the fuel to make it to the end. We'll go check out what happened. Jamie Stammer Jr., this man, that number 4, involved in a restart crash as a lap car. Jamie Stammer Jr., the 4, so you can see right there, this is a restart. They're not even up to full speed. These guys are splitting left and right, trying to find a way around. Luke Rainey, the 88, trying to go high. Stanworth starts to come up the track a little bit. Collins gets low. Then Luke, as the 4 comes up, he's going to try and get low. The 4 still in the middle of the racetrack. Here comes Oskin shooting through the middle in the 26. And they just kind of get together. 88, 26, 36 as Luke spins around. Lawrence gets away on the outside. Others take to the apron. And right there, look at Lathan Strickland. Hard hit into the wall. And then Kircher kind of pile driving him in.
I think that 36 has been involved in every incident so far.
Yeah, poor Evan Hunter is just not... See Roger Rice hitting off the 26 right there. Poor Evan Hunter's just not had the night he was looking for. He's running very well before that first accident, and ever since then it's just been downhill for that number 36 as this restart crash. Nothing to do with these lead lap cars. It was just kind of standing in the middle of the track, and they couldn't find a way around. We'll go take a look at this track one more time. And here's another view of that restart crash. Stanworth in the middle of the racetrack, and really not much more to say other than that, Trey.
The speed differential just really plays a factor in this, and on a height Lathan got there, especially in a turn, is scary.
Yeah, he hit very hard. Luckily, he drove away, and hopefully they don't try and keep that car in the race because I can't imagine it's going to be going too fast after the hit it just took right there. He's already been involved in one. Now he's involved in another with more damage, and hopefully they don't try and keep that car out there. For Chris Jericho, though, he got those 5 bonus points. He's been leading laps. His teammate Mathis Wells is back in 5th place. At the moment, Jericho will be the points leader. There's still a lot of time to go here at the Lowe's Motors View and the UAW-GM Quality 500. cleaning up the third caution flag of the night here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Hopefully we get some green flag running in after this restart. Lathan Strickland to the garage, done for the night in the number 15 car. Just too much damage to try and repair. That leaves us 25 cars on the lead lap, and about the back 12 or so have some damage on their race cars. Chris Jericho on the 18, second in points entering the race by 2 points. He currently leads this race. Laura Chung the one in second, then Jay Rando in third, Keyshawn Richardson in fourth, and the points there, Matt as well as he's up inside the top 5 as well. We have Jordan Edwards in sixth, Nathan Barrett the one in seventh, Justin Zaydell back to 8th on those pit stops. Roberto Crown Jr. is 9th, and Mitchell Collins the 12, currently scored inside the top 10. So Trey, as these front runners have made their pit stops, they happen with 35 laps to go. If anyone stayed a little bit longer, maybe had a slower pit stop, potentially they were packing the car full of fuel in case this thing stayed green. And look at the launch for Laura Chung in the field behind Jericho, who was the leader, but in some ways was caught sleeping on that one.
Yeah, well, they're going to be 3 wide for second already.
Yes, they are. As Keyshawn Richardson got the run on Rando and Chung because everyone got a run on Jericho. It's just the 9th and 48 had to check up because they couldn't pass to the inside before the start-finish line. Richardson didn't have to check up and got a great run, moves to second place, and here comes Mathis Wells coming to the bottom lane, trying to go for third as Richardson hunts the lead off turn number 4, looking low on Chris Jericho. Didn't have the run for it. He'll slide in behind him in second place.
Yeah, one thing Jericho doesn't want to see, which might sound weird, is his teammate lead a lap.
Yeah, that's normally those Joe Gibbs cars, and they work together pretty well, and they're rooting for each other. But here, when they're the front in the championship trade, there's no way you can root for the other one.
No, not at all. And we'll have to, because going into this, they're only 2 points apart, right?
Only 2 points apart. That is a position. Literally one position on the racetrack swaps them.
That's crazy. It's insane how close these two are. And, I mean, really, if you think about the first half of the season, we didn't really talk about these two very much.
That's the thing. At one point, both of them were down around 10th in points, right? And it was like, wow, Joe Gibbs Racing won the championship last season. What has happened to them, especially what's happened to Chris Jericho, because he's been hovering around 12th in points all season long. But here they are in these final 5 races. They've come alive when it matters the most, and they haven't won the most races this season, but they've been the most consistent through the summer and through the late summer into this fall, and that's really what's kind of put them on top because no one has really had the dominant season.
No, no one's really had yeah, exactly. I mean, think about it. Last year it came down to the 18 and the 25 who both absolutely dominated the entirety of the season. Big wreck in the back.
Oh, Fitzwater, Lawrence, Eli Bright, here call!
Oh, Fitzy!
Oh, Hunter Reed's up in the air, and Fitzwater's on his lid at the exit of turn 2 on the apron.
I don't think these guys can see smoke.
Oh, no.
Oh, and the 55's upside down.
And he's going to end
There's got to be oil on the track, Joe.
I cannot believe this. Oh, here come the leaders.
Oh, I hope the leaders are good. Yeah, they're good.
Oh. Well, Trey, this has just turned into an uncontrollable mess at points.
What was the record for flips we had a couple years ago?
Yeah, that was this racetrack, so...
What was the amount of flips we had? Was it 4?
We had like 4 that race, 4 or 5.
We're at 3.
Yeah, that's...
So...
Man.
Joe, there had to have been oil after that first incident, because, I mean, those guys just could not get the thing slowed down as Richardson comes in.
So he must think he does not have the fuel to make it, right? To come into pit road
This
for
might
fourth
be,
place.
Joe, this might win him the race.
It could. He might have been told, listen, we don't have the fuel even with caution flags. You need to come in. And if these guys stay out and they can't make it on fuel even with caution flags, Keyshawn Richardson might be the only car to make it on this fuel. And, I mean, with so few cars left in this race, it's not a bad strategy because he's not going to be that far back. Look at that's the field.
I was going to say he might lose, 10 spots?
Yeah, and it's just a quick
even?
gas and go. And, I mean, yeah, he's not going to lose that much. And there was obviously some sort of issue that happened on a car that caused that because it just looked like the field was stacked up.
Yeah, that was very strange. But I don't know. We'll have to look at the replay and see what happened with that. But, Joe, this race is getting very interesting.
Yes, it is. Chris Jericho leads in the 18 still. After that restart, we'll check out what happened for the 4th caution flag of the night here at Lowe's. Well, Trey, this was just an unfortunate issue that arose out of this number 22, Nathan Baird, who, as mentioned, fastest in practice, was fast in qualifying, but failed post-qualifying inspection, went to the back of the field, started 42nd, was racing inside the top 10 for most of the night, but breaks through the middle of 1 and 2 as he's trying to get down to the apron. Might have been best to try and just stay all the way up against the wall because he kind of cuts down right into Nolan Lawrence, who really had nowhere to go. Hard impact.
Smack the wall.
And then Roberto Crown Jr., winner of this race last season, Fitzwater gets tipped. There's Jose Mills. Stout got away in the bottom. But unfortunately, this wreck is not over. You would think that maybe it's just starting to settle down. But here comes Reed. He hits the 2 and then the 19. Fitzwater's going to come down. Eli Bright in the 8 with a hit that's going to take him out. And then Luke into Fitzwater, sends the 2 up in the air and up on his side, then up and over. Samet Oskin, winner at Talladega. Hunter Reed gets hit into the air by Keegan Thompson. Sarah Kirchner came in with nowhere to go. Now she's stopped on the racetrack as Fitzwater ends up on his lid. Now you think the wreck is over, but there are 2 cars, and it was the 2 lap cars that we had talked about that were oh so slow and so far off the pace. As you mentioned,
They're still not even here yet.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, there may be fluid on the track because the 22 broke. So maybe it was something that put oil down. But right here, maybe they can't see as well, but they just run right into Sarah Kirchner. And then Stanworth runs right into Roger Ray, sending the 55 onto his lid, just like the 2 of Fitzwater.
That's a very late time to get involved into a wreck, and a very late flip in a wreck. I mean, that was just very, very strange set of circumstances.
Can you imagine saying I flipped in a wreck, yet the wreck was driving away from me by the time I flipped?
The wreck was finishing up.
Yeah, the wreck was driving away by the time I flipped, and just really, really unfortunate there for all the guys involved in what was just some sort of mechanical issue on that Bill Davis Racing number 22. We'll go take a look at this wreck one more time in full speed. Here's one more view. Nathan Baird braking in the middle of 1 and 2, cutting down to Lawrence.
You got to think he lost a piston or a valve or something there, because the amount he just stopped pretty much, and then everyone involved here. Fitzy, driver side 2, upside down. Hunter Reed's surfing on top of other guys as well, and like you said, Joe, look, they're driving away.
Yeah, everyone's just like, all right, let's leave the accident scene. Oh, it's like he never slowed down. No one slowed down.
You think NASCAR might want to talk to those guys?
They might. They've not liked in the past people not being careful when coming up to. I mean,
well, I mean, you know, it's for good reason.
It's one thing to try and miss an accident by putting the gas through. It's another thing to be so far back where you could have stopped on the track at turn 1. By the time you
I don't know what the drivers or the spotters were thinking at that moment in time.
Yeah, it'll probably be something NASCAR wants to talk to the 55 and the 4 about. They'll have an early end to their nights because of it. For Chris Jericho, though, he has been dominant ever since he got to the lead. It's most likely due to the fact that we've had a bunch of cautions since he got to the lead. Chris Jericho continuing to rack up the laps led here in the UAW-GM Quality 500 at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Well, Trey, coming back to the green flag, lap number 44, the field has dwindled down to where there's less than half of the cars that started this race currently on the racetrack. Fortunately, everyone left is on the lead lap. We have a lot more out from that crash. They include Jamie Stanworth Jr., Roger Ray, Sarah Kirchner, Keegan Thompson, Hunter Reed, Samet Oskin, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Nathan Baird, Eli Bright, and Luke Rainey. Number 22 of Baird, the issues were the brakes. Possibly what we assumed the brakes just possibly locked up and spewed brake fluid all over the racetrack, and that's likely what caused that accident. We only have 17 cars left running, very few of them without damage. Richardson, who pitted back in 14th, we know he definitely has the fuel to make it to the end now. At the front, it's Chris Jericho, Jay Rando in second, Mitchell Collins third. How about the run for Nathan Stapleton up in 4th place in his first race back after having to sit 2 races out? And then the points there, Mathis Wells is 5th. You have Zaydell 6th, Chung 7th, Hunter in 8th, Stout back up to 9th, and DeLello back up to 10th. But Trey, I mean, this Chip Ganassi Racing number 71 car, you have to give a shout out to Nathan Stapleton. What a great run after missing that big accident, that first caution of the day. Here he is up inside the top 5 and with a realistic shot to get it done.
Yeah, that's I don't know if a lot of people will be cheering him on, but it'd be a great feat. Look at this man.
3 wide on the restart for 2nd place. Down into 1 and 2. They're making some contact.
Contact.
Rando shoved Collins down to Stapleton. Luckily, they kept it going straight. Now, think about earlier this season when Chris Jericho won his only race of the season at Martinsville. It was Nathan Stapleton, the one to finish 2nd in that one. Well, now Jericho's leading. Stapleton's running in 2nd here at Lowe's.
Joe, do you think we're done with the cautions?
Trey, if they find a way to wreck cars with 17 on the racetrack and with probably only 12 up to speed, so help me.
That would be impressive. Look at this man.
Yeah, Nathan Stapleton is hunting after who is right now as they run the points leader. Stapleton trying to go to the lead, down the back straightaways, down to the inside of Chris Jericho. He's trying to take it away through 3 and 4. Nathan Stapleton. Remember last season, we talked about Roberto Crown Jr. getting the upset victory in this race. Might we have another one, but this time by pure speed out of the 71. He moves to the front of the field.
It's crazy to me that this car's got so much speed underneath it.
It does, and
especially after, I mean, we haven't really talked about his team at all.
now people might say, oh, he's only up there because of the crashes, but he just passed a Joe Gibbs car. He's holding off an Everham car, another Joe Gibbs car behind him. Roush cars are still in the race. Hendrick cars are still in the race.
Don't forget, Joe. He drove through the middle of that first big one. Through the middle of it and did not touch a single car.
And Trey, you mentioned this man. He's been involved in basically everything tonight. He's running inside the top 5.
I don't know how that's even possible. I don't know how that's possible.
It's just these Lowe's
this
races.
guy was involved in a wreck too.
Yeah, Stout was involved in stuff. He's driving back up here. Jay Randall was spun around the grass in that major accident.
97 has damage on the right side as well.
99 just pitted. He's flying up here. Mitchell Collins right behind him. Justin Zidell. Those might be the only 2 clean race cars out here. Jericho's going middle of 3. That's an interesting point to be in with so few cars left with 20 laps to go. You have Jericho back here now. Mathis Wells in 3rd place trying to get those 5 bonus points. And Laura Chung wants to lead back as they race through 1 and 2, trying to get by Nathan Stapleton, and she'll do it. Chung to the lead on lap number 48.
One thing this 18's not going to like to hear is that his teammate in the 20 of Wells, the points leader, well, I guess technically now is back to the points leader.
Yep.
He's going for the move for the lead right here. I don't know if he's going to get it this time around, but he might be getting it next time.
Yeah, he has a nice run going through the quad oval, possibly right here as they enter turn 1. Does he look for a move? No, Jay Rando looks for a move. The hardware stores trade, they're not playing nice with each other. Rando trying to pass Mathis Wells.
I don't think they're supposed to play nice, are they?
They're not. They're trying to beat each other. And look at this, though. Wells got the run. Here he goes, trying to get those 5 bonus points to be the first time he's led tonight.
Here comes Kevin Richardson in the back, too, in that 99, and waiting in 5th place is Mitchell Collins as well. But, Joe, this time around is going to be your points leader, the 20 of Mathis Wells, getting his 5 bonus points.
So right there, that automatically settles out those points.
Chung!
Lord Chung with a big move to the inside. Down to 1 and 2. Wells climbs the banking. Lord Chung back out in front. Here's Richardson. We know he has the fuel to make it, and the fuel now doesn't matter because he's moving to the front of the field.
I think Chung... All right, cool. You got your 5 points. I want to win this thing now.
Yeah, Laura Chung just said, I don't care if you're in the championship race. I'm here trying to win my first ever race. Let me through. As now Jericho and Wells, they run side by side right there at the line there. Mathis Wells was the points leader. Now in turn 1, Chris Jericho's the points leader.
It's crazy how close these two are.
Yeah, and I mean,
contact. They keep it clean.
With how they've both been so near each other this season, both cars either run really well or both cars run poorly. It could stay like this all throughout the rest of the season.
I was going to say, talk about a team being in sync, Joe. I think throughout the entire season, there's only been a handful of races where they weren't 5 spots apart from each other.
Yep, and the points show that. There's not many teams that could say, yeah, we have 2 cars, and they're within 2 points of each other. It's right here. Anderson Reed's going to hold up some guys on the inside, or maybe both lanes, as Collins got away.
Collins.
Well, he loves seeing that in his mirror.
Oh, both first and second in points are stuck behind.
I was about to say, can Wells get Lowe? He's going to be able to get Lowe first as Richardson tries to get to the middle. Jericho going to try and get to the middle himself.
He thought about it.
Yeah, Wells said, no, not so fast. Now Richardson dives low. Edwards is down there. They make some
contact.
contact.
Ooh. How did they keep that straight?
Jericho still can't find a way by.
Oh, he's got to be so upset right now.
He has to move low here, but he's all the way back outside the top 10 and might be out of the running as we come back around to 14 laps to go. There's Wells. He's gotten away as right here they battle for second place. DeLello with Hunter pushing. There's Mitchell Collins, the race leader. He had a nice gap, but it's already come down. These guys behind are catching him using that draft with now 14 laps to go here in the UAW-GM Quality 500. There's Evan Hunter moving low. That MB2 car has some damage, but it's still just as fast as it was beginning of the race.
Do you think last lap Jericho had any deja vu? Was it the 55 last year that did the same thing?
Yeah, 55 at Lowe's in the World 600, where even a crash was caused with that 55 in the 18.
Yeah. You think he was feeling anything from that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. When he was in the turn 3 fence, yeah.
Yeah, upside down, I think he was as well. Yeah, it was not a good time for him, but he got around it, and Joe, he's chasing his teammate back down.
He is, and these race leaders have caught lap traffic, so the guys behind will be able to catch back up. Collins got through. Randall got through. Red Crunch Jr. holding up Evan Hunter and Zachary DeLello on the outside. Jordan Stout back up inside the top 3. Nathan Stapleton back down low. Here comes Zachary DeLello and Keyshawn Richardson. They filter low. Hunter still can't get down low. Diego Yepes trying to get Petty Enterprise another victory here at Lowe's. The front 10 and the championship are side by side, back behind the front 10 as Hunter goes 3 wide. Wells up the track, and Jericho back through and now back into that championship spot.
And he's going to get around this one pretty easily there. I'm going to be curious to see how the 20 does, because the 43 is going to run the preferred line. It might compromise as Wells' corner exit here. He's going to slow him up just that little bit, but he's going to get to the bottom.
Unfortunately, didn't lose too much time as Jay Randall moves to the lead. Nathan Stapleton second with 11 to go. It's very rare this season where we said 200 cars have a shot at the end of a race. Well, here they are, one in the lead, one in third. Rando or Zidell could try and get Hendrick's second victory of the season. As we come back around to 10 laps to go, our Advanced Auto Parts question of the week as Stapleton looks for the lead. Last week, we had asked how many drivers might have a shot at the championship come Atlanta, and the consensus, 71% said 3 to 5, but after tonight's events, Trey, it might just be those 2 Joe Gibbs Racing cars.
Hey, it's crazy how quickly things change here, Joe. But yeah, it definitely could be. But don't take out this 97 and 99, who are both in front of the first and second in points, and the sixth.
And the sixth, yeah. Those Roush cars could gain some points as Jericho's trying to move by some guys. Stapleton going for the lead. Zidell going with his teammate, Jay Rando. Now, this week's Advanced Auto Parts question of the week. We have 4 races left in the season after tonight's event at Lowe's. Which of the 4 final tracks will have the biggest impact on the championship? Will it be Kansas? Will it be Rockingham? Will it be North Wilkesboro? Or will it be Atlanta, the finale?
Ooh, Kansas or Atlanta, I feel like.
Yeah, Kansas last season was pretty crazy, but we know Atlanta the past 2 seasons, the championship leader going in there has gotten involved in the crash, and second in points just got away with the championship.
Yeah, so I mean, it definitely could be one of those 2, and I mean, the only way it could be Atlanta is that if this points lead is close with some other cars, so we'll have to see what it's like going into there. But I know Kansas could definitely have some implications on this whole battle for the championship.
Well, Kansas is next race out, so watch for that on JRTV. It could be just as crazy as what we've seen here tonight. Wells is losing touch with those front 11 cars. Jericho's in the mix, trying to get up here and get as many cars between he and his teammate Wells. He's currently the point leader as they run in. I mean, that's crazy to think about. He came from over 500 points back at one point in the season, Trey, to now leading the points as they run.
Yeah, and you and me thought that he was pretty much out for the count. I mean, we really talked about him, but now all of a sudden, we're starting to talk about him.
Yeah, and I don't want to say it's a trend, but because last season he was so consistent, it was up in front of the points for so much of the season. He was either first or second in points pretty much all season long. But last season, Trey, when he won the championship, he got one victory earlier in the season at Atlanta, didn't win a second race until the 30th race at Phoenix. Well, that race he won last season at Atlanta, it was the 8th race of the season. This season, he got a win earlier this season at Martinsville. That was the 8th race of the season.
You saying there's a trend?
I'm saying there's a chance that Chris Jericho could possibly win race number 30 and get the championship again. But for Harrison Reed, the second time we're catching him tonight, the leaders are going to go high.
The leader's going to go topside this time.
Stapleton is going to get around. Now Zidell's desperately hoping the 14 can move up. Here comes Jericho and Stout into it as Stapleton gets away with 5 laps to go. Zidell to second and Jericho to third. Stout is coming. Here comes Richardson and the whole rest of the field as Reed, for the second time tonight, is going to hold up some of our race leaders.
That was a very smart move by Nathan Stapleton.
It was. He saw.
Not often do you see the leader go to the outside of a lap car, but for him it worked out pretty well.
Jay Rando jumps down a hole in front of Laura Chung and Mathis Wells. Zachary DeLello falls all the way to the back of this lead group. Now at the front of the field, cars up the racetrack as they work through 3 and 4. Stout and Zidell searching for grip, but Trey, as we hit 4 laps to go, this is when the fuel would start to run dry. They had to go 35 laps. They had some caution flag periods in between. However, if they didn't get packed full of fuel, this is the moment where some of our leaders could run dry on their tank of fuel. And Keyshawn Richardson, we know, has the fuel to make it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think of how hard these guys have been pushing their race cars, and they definitely have not been saving fuel. So I'll be interested to see if anyone needs to come down pit road to make that splash, because they miscalculated how long they are going to have to run and how long this fuel lasts them. So far, I mean, Joe, at the moment, it looks like it's going to come down to these 2 drivers to see which one's going to take home the victory here.
Yeah, so far, Nathan Stapleton for Chip Ganassi Racing. We know those cars have been set up well here in the past. Caden Lynn has run so well here for Chip Ganassi Racing, and they've obviously had some success with some of their other drivers in the past. But here, this season, they've been so poor. They've been so far off the pace. Nathan Stapleton has sit at the last 2 races because of injury. Well, here he's at Lowe's trying to get one, but the champion from last season, Jericho, is running him down with 2 laps to go, right on the bumper into turns 1 and 2.
If Stapleton can hold him off, he's 100% earned this victory, but it's going to be hard to hold off a Joe Gibbs guy, especially a guy trying to go back-to-back for championships right now, but so far,
here it goes.
Jericho's going to go.
Chris Jericho for the lead, has not won since race 8 of this season. As he works off 4, he's still the lead. Comes to the white flag. We have the 19 on pit road. There's the white flag. 1 more lap for Chris Jericho, but Nathan Stapleton is still there to try and pounce back.
He's got to get a good run coming out of turn 2 here and make a move going into turn 3. Is he going to get that run? He runs a little bit higher than Jericho and going onto the backstretch. I don't think he got the run, Joe.
No, he's a little bit too far back down the back straightaway for the final time. Chris Jericho was over 500 points back in the middle of this season. But as he comes off 4, he's back on top. It's his 2nd victory of the season. Chris Jericho is on to the points lead with a win at Lowe's.
And I think Wells finished last out of this pack.
Yeah, Wells was the last car running in that pack. That's what, 12th, 11th place.
So that's going to allow the 99, the 97, and the 6 all to catch up. But are they going to catch up enough to where they're close enough to Jericho here, who just got the win?
Well, I was about to say, the 18 is so close to the 28 points, they didn't catch up. Because they finished so far behind the 18, they lost so many points to the 18, it doesn't even matter.
Well, look at that. But, wow, what a race this was. I think this might be the fewest cars we've had finishing a race.
Yeah, we only had 17 cars finish this race running. And, want to give a shout out to Nathan Stapleton. It's not the victory he was really looking for at the end of that race, but 2nd place for Chip Ganassi Racing is more than a win for what they've been through this season.
Yeah, that if that shows them anything, it's Stapleton still has the will and heart to fight. He had a few, let's say, silly mistakes recently in this season. But and again, if anything, that shows you that he can still wheel a race car here to good finishes with a 2nd place. And honestly, he had a car for the win.
He did. If Jericho was just a little bit further back, Jericho would not have been able to catch him, and Stapleton would have gone to victory lane. But tonight belongs to the new points leader, Chris Jericho, on top here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, missing all the carnage around him and getting to victory lane and getting to the points lead. For the 2nd time this season, Nathan Stapleton finishes 2nd to the 2001 champion. Stapleton finished 2nd at Martinsville when Jericho won. He finishes 2nd here at Lowe's when Jericho gets back to victory lane. Mitchell Collins, one of the dominant forces of the night, ends up in 3rd here tonight. Jordan Stout was involved in that crash with Wells and Fitzwater and all of them. He gets back to finishes at the top 5 and 4th. And Evan Hunter had a lot of damage on that 36 car, but he trucked along to a top 5 for MB2 Motorsports, just his 2nd top 5 of the season. Justin Zeidel, heartbreak. You have to think for that Hendrick camp, they had a really good shot to win this one, but lap traffic just did not fall their way. Zeidel ends up in 6th. Laura Chong with a very impressive night in 7th. Keyshawn Richardson ends up in 8th with Jay Rando 9th, and Zachary DeLello completing the top 10. Mathis Wells, who entered as the points leader, will lose some ground to his teammate Jericho. He gets 11th here tonight, 10 positions behind Jericho running, as Mills ends up in 12th. Those were the only cars on the lead lap, as the rest of the field ran dry on some fuel. We have Diego Yepes in 13th. He ran dry. He had to come down pit road along with Jordan Edwards and Nolan Lawrence. Roberto Crown Jr. was just a little bit slower. He finished a lap down, and we know Anderson Reed 2 laps down in that number 14. And as we mentioned, a lot of these cars down here out of the race from crashes. It was one destructive night here at Lowe's. 4 caution flags, including that major accident for the first caution of the night, and then that major accident off of turn number 2 as well, with the number 22 Nathan Baird having an issue in the middle of the field. Well, now, leaving Lowe's, we go take a look at the point standings, and Trey, for the first time this season, Chris Jericho's on top. His teammate Mathis Wells, the one in 2nd at the moment. It's a Joe Gibbs Racing battle for this championship, but you still can't really count out those Roush guys. They've stayed close enough to where if the 2 Joe Gibbs cars maybe get into an altercation with each other, those guys could be right back in it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you still cannot count anyone out in this battle yet. And like we said, Joe, which one of the 4 races next is going to be the deciding factor? And truthfully, if you really look into that answer, it could be any one of them.
Yes, it can. We know all 4 of these final races can be very, very crazy. And with this championship battle between teammates, it could be one of the crazier ones we have seen in the past. We'll go racing next race on JRTV. We mentioned earlier at the Kansas Speedway for the Protection 1 400. Last season, that race was insane. Keegan Thompson got to victory lane in that one. We'll see if he can try and get back-to-back in the Kansas races, or if someone new might get to victory lane there at the Kansas Speedway. But tonight, it's all about our points leader and last season's champion, Chris Jericho. He gets his second victory of the season here at the Lowe's Motorsport, moves into the championship points lead with just 4 races left in the 2002 season. Join us next week on JRTV for more championship coverage as we head to Kansas for the Protection 1 400 here in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series season.